And again, you arrived in 2015, so you've got to a sense of the company, the culture. That was all behind you when you step into the CFO office in 23. It's after COVID, which is also interesting. A lot of executives moved on in COVID. I'm just curious about your own growth there, and whether there were probably CFO roles you could have left and stepped into, but you didn't. I'm wondering why you were the one to open this next chapter as a finance.
What a great question. And, let me set a little bit of context, and it'll apply very nicely into why me and why what excites me, why Intuit thinks I'm the right person, and why I'm excited about the next chapter. So I joined the company in 2015, and it was a two-pronged mandate. Help build the finance team of the future. A finance team that's not just keeping score, but a finance team that's actually scoring points. And I'm happy to dive into some of the key areas that myself and my team helped reshape into a strategy and help reshape its financial profile. And then two, really engaging deeply in the business. When I got here, the first 6 months, I was the acting chief risk officer for our payments business. Very few companies will have someone join the FP&A role, be like, hey, payments. We think it's a massive opportunity in reshaping payments, which was one of the key theses I had coming in. Go engage with the business. And, that was the start. At that time, most of our revenue came from accounting software, QuickBooks, on the small business group. And the context, I spent my first 8 years of Intuit in the small business group, helping co-lead that business. And now, majority of our revenue comes from what we call services. This is payments, payroll, capital, MailChimp, stuff that's not the core QuickBooks business. And that services component is growing a lot faster. So I was a key component of driving that strategy, developing that strategy, and executing on that strategy. And while I was doing that, the aperture for my own career growth opened up quite a bit. I did get calls and got the offer to join other large cap companies, very recognizable names. But really, what kept me here at Intuit was the very deliberate investment that Intuit made in my growth. I started working with our current CEO, Sasan Goodarzi, back in 2017 when he ran the small business group. And the growth I had in my leadership partnering with him, and the broad mandate I had, not just as the head of finance for that division, which right now is about a $9 billion in revenue business. So it's a large division for us. But he really had me operate as his, in essence, co-head of that business. So very much a COO and CFO. So I got the investments. Our former CEO and executive chairman, Brad Smith, coaching me on how to continue to scale my leadership. Our former CFO investing in my growth. I knew at that point the investments they were making and how good Intuit is about succession planning and making sure these top roles get filled by talent that's within our shop, that I had the opportunity to be the CFO here or an opportunity to have a different C-suite role in the business. So that's what kept me around. It was the investments Intuit made in me. It was a continued growth I saw in Intuit's business. It's a continued growth I continue to realize in my own career. And one of the things I look for is if I am still having fun, if I'm still feeling my brain hurt at the end of the day, I've got more work to do. And so I stuck around at Intuit. It's been a very rewarding journey.